I have to say, football fans and furries, very similar, almost the same thing. And if football equals normal, then you would associate football fans as being normal as well. And if I were to say that football fans equals furries, then furries equals normal. Now, I went from furry hater to furry acceptor to furry friend to why haven't I been a furry all along? Now, before we dive into such a deep topic, I first want to introduce our friend of the day. We're going to keep it simple. Our friend of the day is Yellow Pete. And we also have a bonus friend of the day, which is this Ring Pup. And these characters will silently judge me as I go on a tirade about why we should leave furries alone. How did I find out about furries? Well, as someone that started going on the internet in middle school and hanging out on forums and stuff for anime fans, furries naturally made their way into my life. I saw people posting about them and stuff, and that's pretty much it. I would go on DeviantArt a lot, which is like a website where people post art that they make, whether it be photography, digital, that kind of drawing, stuff like that. So I would go on there and I would sometimes come across furry art, and it would be like the adult furry art. And I would think that it would look really ugly, and I just didn't enjoy it. So that was that. And I also was a huge fan of watching cringe compilation videos, and furry cringe compilation videos were what I stumbled upon, and I thought those were really fun to watch as well. So with all that being said, I never really interacted with furries for a very long time, but I knew of their existence from cringe compilation videos, stumbling upon adult art, and just kind of seeing people talk about them in conversation on anime forums. Now, the first time I sort of went in proximity of furries were when I started going to anime conventions. And at anime conventions, you will have your pocket of furries that will appear. You have like the raver furries, the ones that will wear like the rave attire with like the ears and the tail. And then you have like the full-on fursuiters that go out and about wearing the full-on fursuit with like a mascot. I would never like hate on the furries, but like I would definitely like snicker at them with my friends. I wouldn't like point at them and make fun of them, but I would like, oh my god, there's a furry, lol, like laughing with my friends about them. So I definitely didn't think it was normal. As time progressed, when I was done with school and college, I was like kind of hanging around with like a music crowd. And a lot of the people in this music crowd were like furries, but like I didn't really know. So there was a time when I was like hanging out with some people before an event, and we were at a restaurant eating food like you would do in a restaurant, and I made like a casual remark about not liking furries, or I don't remember what it was, but like I think I said something like, at least it's not a furry, like something like that. Like I said like an offhand remark about furries, and the person that was sitting across from me said, I'm a furry. Like I think I might have offended them with what I said, because what I said was not positive towards furries. So someone that is a furry would take offense at something like that. I ended up backtracking my statement and then saying something else and reverting the conversation to a different direction, as the smooth conversationalist as I am. That was when I realized, oh, like this person I would have never thought was a furry because they were cool, quote unquote. And I associated furries with being weird and not cool. So as time progressed, I started meeting more people that I found out were furries via Twitter, because they would retweet like furry art, and they would like kind of post like pictures of like their fursona on their accounts. And I was like, oh, I guess being a furry is really not that weird. And some of the art that they posted was really cute, and some of their little fursonas were downright adorable. And of course, these people that I was talking to and making friends with, I thought they were funny and nice and cool and fun. And that's when I realized, okay, furries aren't that weird. They're really not that weird. What in the world? And so then, I became a furry acceptor and then a furry friend. And then I realized, why the heck haven't I been a furry around this whole time? Because I do remember very clearly when I was little, I thought Bugs Bunny was hot. And Donald Duck. Not Donald Duck, Daffy Duck. Wait. Donald Duck is Disney. Wait, is Daffy Duck Disney? This is the one that I thought was hot. I also thought that Max from the Goofy movie was hot as well. Although he doesn't, like, what is Goofy? Is Goofy a dog? Because that doesn't look like a dog to me. I don't really know what that, it doesn't look like a human, but doesn't really look like an animal. Like, I don't know what that is, but it's a dog. So I thought this dog was hot. And then also there was this computer game character called Spy Fox that was basically like a James Bond inspired character that was a fox and it was a spy, and he was suave, debonair, and handsome, and I really had a crush on that character. I also totally had a crush on Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know why, but I thought that character was also very cute. So I definitely had my fair share of crushes on animal characters as a kid. I don't really know what it was that changed. Would I be a furry right now? I don't know.
All jokes aside, having crushes on animal cartoon characters isn't the main thing about being a furry.
So a furry, as the way I would define it, is basically a person that has a certain affinity towards a animal, and they will use that animal as like a character that they'll create like an original character for, and they might use this character as like a persona online, or they might create art around that character, and or maybe they might go to like a convention associating themselves with that character. It's kind of like a second identity, and people will make friends with other people that have those identities, and they create communities and they create art. I say it's a mixture of like art, really liking animals, and a lot of like identity and like that kind of thing. For those of you that may still be thinking, but furries are weird, like they dress up as animals and they're not an animal, and like they really like this thing that's like it's not real. Here is an argument that I propose to you. Football fans. Football is the thing that is considered normal. There's a lot of people that are fans of a football team that they don't play on. And they're not a professional football player, and maybe they don't even play football themselves. They get really excited about this thing, this ball that gets thrown around and kicked and catched and all this stuff. But if things don't go their way, people riot. And there have been cases of people becoming violent and angry when their team that they're not a part of loses. They're not even like a stakeholder. They don't have any family members in that team. They're just a spectator. Yet they're so emotionally attached to something that they're not really actually physically a part of. I have to say, football fans and furries, very similar, almost the same thing. And if football equals normal, then you would associate football fans as being normal as well. And if I were to say that football fans equals furries, then furries equals normal. No, but like seriously, I really don't think being a furry is all that weird, especially with how ridiculous sports fans can be about a team that they're not even a part of. With that being said, also there's just so many wide range of furries. Like I'd say it's the same thing as liking anime. Like there's so many different types of anime and so many different types of anime fans, you really can't classify them all together. I don't think being a furry is all that common compared to football or anime and all that stuff, but I don't know, I really don't think it's that weird anymore. Maybe you could say I'm just desensitized, or maybe you could say I developed a heart. But seriously, I don't really see too many people hate on furries like I have before, but that might also be because I'm now kind of friends and acquaintances with furries, so the stuff doesn't really pop up on my feed. But regardless, I would really like to encourage you to stop the furry hate. With all that being said, those are my thoughts on furries and why you should stop hating furries. Let me know your thought in the comment section below, and as always, you'll see me in the next video of mine you decide to click on. Bye!